In this lesson, I will be teaching you how to use a semicolon. What is a semicolon? A semicolon is a stronger break than a comma, but not as complete of a stop as a period or colon. There are 4 ways to use a semicolon. Rule 1. The most common way to use a semicolon is to separate 2 independent clauses that are similar but not different. For example, in the sentence, "Call me tomorrow, I will give you my answer then," "Call me tomorrow and I will give you my answer then" can both stand alone as a complete sentence. The semicolon in between is used to separate the 2 independent clauses. You could have also used a period to make 2 sentences, but this would not flow as well because the pause in between the sentences would be longer. Rule 2. It is preferable to use a semicolon before introductory words when they introduce a complete sentence. It is also preferable to use a comma after the introductory word. For example, in the sentence, "We had hoped to complete the journey on foot. However, the bad weather prevented us from reaching the summit." A semicolon is used before the introductory word, however, which is then followed by a comma and the rest of the sentence. Instead of a semicolon, a comma is also acceptable. Rule 3. Use a semicolon to separate items in a series if one or more of the items contain commas. This often occurs when listing locations, names, dates, and descriptions. Here's an example. This conference has many people who have come from Toronto, Ontario, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Montreal, Quebec. The semicolons in this sentence allow you to list the cities while using commas to describe which province they are from. If you were to use commas instead of semicolons in this sentence, it would sound like people are coming from Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec, which is 6 places instead of just Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. Rule 4. The last way a semicolon can be used is between 2 sentences joined by a coordinating conjunction when 1 or more commas appear in the first sentence. Example. "When I finish here, I'll be glad to help you, and that is a promise I will keep." The 2 sentences are, "When I finish here, I'll be glad to help you, and that is a promise I will keep," and the conjunction is "and." Since the first sentence contains a comma, a semicolon is placed between the sentences and before the conjunction. If you were to take out the subordinate clause, which is "when I finish here" in the first sentence, and the conjunction "and," this would be an example of Rule 1 of how to use a semicolon, which is use a semicolon to separate 2 independent clauses that are similar. That is the end of my lesson, and I hope this video helped you better understand how to use a semicolon. Thanks for watching.